Welcome back to our podcast. We're really happy you're here today.
Yes, welcome everyone. If you're listening right now, whether you're walking, working, studying, or just relaxing, thanks for spending some time with us.
Today, we're going to have a very relaxed and natural conversation. No complicated lessons, no pressure, just two people talking about life, learning English, daily habits, and the small things that make our lives better.
Exactly. Sometimes the best way to learn English is simply by listening to real conversations. When you hear natural speaking, your brain slowly starts to understand rhythm, vocabulary, and expressions.
That's true. Many learners focus only on grammar, but real communication is about understanding people and expressing ideas naturally.
So today, we're just going to talk like friends. Imagine you're sitting at a cafe with us, listening to two people having a conversation.
That sounds nice. Actually, I love the atmosphere of cafes. The quiet music, the sound of coffee machines, people chatting softly.
Same here. A cafe is one of the best places to think or work. Sometimes, when I'm stuck on a problem, I go to a cafe, order coffee, and somehow my brain starts working again.
That's interesting. Maybe the environment helps your creativity.
I think so. When you're always in the same place, like your room or your office, your brain becomes too comfortable. But when you change environments, new ideas appear.
That reminds me of something I read recently about creativity. Many creative people change locations when they work. Some write in cafes, some go to parks, some travel to different cities.
Travel is another great topic. Do you enjoy traveling?
I really do. Traveling gives you a completely different perspective on life. When you visit new places, meet new people, and see different cultures, you realize the world is much bigger than your daily routine.
That's so true. When people stay in the same place for too long, they sometimes forget how diverse the world is.
Exactly. Even simple things like food can be completely different in another country.
Oh, yes, food is one of the best parts of traveling.
Definitely. Every culture expresses itself through food. Spices, cooking techniques, traditions, everything tells a story.
I remember the first time I tried street food in another country. I was a little nervous at first.
Why nervous?
Well, because it looked different from what I was used to. The cooking style, the ingredients, the smells, everything was new.
But did you like it?
I loved it. It was one of the best meals I ever had, and it was very simple. Just a small dish from a street vendor.
That's the beauty of food. Sometimes the simplest meals are the most memorable.
Speaking of memorable experiences, do you remember the first time you started learning English?
Oh, yes, very clearly. It was actually quite confusing at the beginning.
Really? What was difficult about it?
Everything felt new. The pronunciation, the grammar, the sentence structure. It felt like learning how to think again.
That's a great way to describe language learning. You're not just learning words, you're learning a new way of thinking.
Exactly. And at first, I was afraid to speak.
That's very common for language learners.
Yes, because you worry about making mistakes. You worry about sounding strange.
But the truth is, mistakes are the fastest way to learn.
Absolutely. Every mistake teaches you something.
I always tell learners that fluency doesn't come from perfection, it comes from practice.
That's such an important idea. Many people wait until their English is perfect before they start speaking.
And that day never comes.
Exactly.
The real secret is speaking early and speaking often.
Yes, even if your sentences are simple, communication is still happening.
Let me ask you something. What do you think is the biggest challenge for English learners?
I think confidence is the biggest challenge.
Interesting. Not grammar?
Grammar is important, but confidence controls whether you actually use the language.
That makes sense. If someone knows grammar but never speaks, their progress will be slow.
Exactly. Language is a skill, like playing a musical instrument.
That's a great comparison.
Imagine someone who reads about playing guitar every day but never touches a guitar.
They will never become a good guitarist.
Exactly. The same thing happens with languages.
You must practice speaking.
Yes, and also listening.
Listening is very powerful. When you listen to English regularly, your brain starts recognizing patterns.
That's why podcasts are so useful.
Yes, podcasts allow learners to hear natural conversations.
And the best part is that you can listen anywhere.
In the car, while walking, while cooking.
Exactly.
Actually, I know someone who improved their English dramatically just by listening to podcasts every day.
Really? What was their routine?
They listened for about 30 minutes each morning during their commute.
That's a great habit.
After a few months, they noticed something interesting.
What happened?
They started thinking in English.
That's a huge milestone in language learning.
Yes, when your brain starts forming thoughts directly in English instead of translating.
Translation can slow down communication.
Exactly. When you're translating every sentence in your head, conversations become stressful.
But when you think directly in English, everything becomes smoother.
Let me ask you another question. Do you think learning English is different today compared to 20 years ago?
Definitely.
In what way?
Technology has completely changed language learning.
That's true.
In the past, people depended on textbooks and classroom lessons.
And maybe CDs or cassette tapes for listening practice.
Exactly. But today, we have videos, podcasts, language apps, online teachers, and communities.
The internet made learning much more accessible.
Anyone with a phone can start learning today.
But there is also a small problem.
What's that?
Too many resources.
That's actually true.
Some learners jump from one method to another every week.
That can slow progress.
Consistency is more important than variety.
Yes, it's better to follow one routine regularly.
For example, listening practice every day
Speaking practice several times a week.
and reading something interesting in English.
Reading is underrated.
I agree. Reading helps expand vocabulary naturally.
When you read stories or articles, you see words used in real context.
Which makes them easier to remember.
Exactly.
Do you prefer reading physical books or digital books?
That's a difficult question,
Why?
because I like both for different reasons.
Tell me more.
Physical books feel more relaxing. There's something special about holding a book and turning pages.
I feel the same way.
But digital books are convenient. You can carry hundreds of books on one device.
That's true, especially when traveling.
Yes, luggage becomes much lighter.
Another advantage of digital reading is built-in dictionaries.
That's incredibly useful for language learners.
If you see a new word, you can check the meaning instantly.
No need to open a separate dictionary.
Exactly. But regardless of format, the most important thing is reading regularly.
Consistency, again.
Yes, small daily habits create big results over time.
That's a powerful idea that applies to many areas of life.
Not just language learning.
Exactly.
Health, career, relationships, everything improves with small, consistent actions.
Let's talk about habits for a moment.
Sure.
Do you have a morning routine?
Yes, actually I do.
I'm curious, what does it look like?
I try to keep it simple. First, I wake up and drink a glass of water.
That's a healthy start.
Then I stretch for a few minutes.
Stretching in the morning feels great.
It wakes up the body.
What happens after that?
I usually read something for about 15 minutes.
What kind of reading?
Sometimes a book, sometimes an article.
That sounds like a peaceful way to begin the day.
It really is. Starting the day slowly helps me think clearly.
Many people start their day by checking their phones.
Yes, and that can create stress immediately.
Notifications, messages, emails.
Exactly. Your brain suddenly feels overwhelmed.
Maybe a calm start is better.
I believe so.
After your reading time, what do you do next?
Coffee.
Of course,
Coffee is essential.
many people would agree with you.
There's something comforting about the smell of fresh coffee.
Coffee culture is fascinating.
It really is. Different countries have very different coffee traditions.
Some prefer strong espresso,
Others enjoy large cups of drip coffee,
and some cultures treat coffee as a social event.
sitting together and talking for hours.
Exactly.
Speaking of conversations, do you think people talk less face-to-face today because of technology?
That's a deep question.
I know.
I think technology changed communication, but not necessarily reduced it.
How so?
People still communicate a lot, but the format has changed.
You mean messages instead of conversations?
Yes, texting, voice notes, social media comments.
Those forms are quicker, but sometimes less personal.
Exactly.
A real conversation allows emotions, tone, and body language.
Which makes communication richer.
Exactly.
That's why podcasts feel special.
Yes, because listeners hear real voices and natural interaction.
It feels more human.
Exactly.
I hope our listeners feel like they are part of this conversation.
Me too.
Maybe they're listening while walking somewhere right now,
or sitting on a train.
or studying at home.
Wherever you are, thanks for listening.
Yes, we really appreciate it.
And remember, every minute you spend listening to English is helping your brain improve.
Language learning is like building a muscle.
The more you train it, the stronger it becomes.
Exactly.
And progress might feel slow at first.
But if you stay consistent, one day you'll suddenly realize something.
What will that be?
You'll understand conversations that once felt impossible.
That moment is incredibly rewarding.
It makes all the effort worth it.
Absolutely.
Before we finish today's episode, I want to ask one final question.
I'm listening.
If someone listening today feels stuck in their English learning journey, what advice would you give them?
That's a great question.
Take your time.
I would tell them 3 simple things.
Okay, let's hear them.
First, don't compare yourself.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our English Learning Podcast. If you're here to improve your English and learn how to speak more naturally in everyday situations, you're in the right place.
Hello, everyone. We're really happy you're here today. Whether you're listening while commuting, working, or relaxing at home, we hope this conversation helps you improve your English step by step.
Absolutely. And today we have a very practical and interesting topic. We're going to talk about problems at work and how to solve them.
That's right. Everyone experiences problems at work at some point. It could be stress, communication issues, time pressure, or disagreements with coworkers.
Exactly. No workplace is perfect, but the important thing is learning how to deal with these problems in a professional and calm way.
And this topic is also great for learning English because work conversations happen every day.
That's true. If you work in an international company or communicate with clients, these phrases can be extremely useful.
So today we're going to discuss common workplace problems, how people usually react, and the best ways to solve them.
Sounds good. Before we begin, let me ask you something. Have you ever had a difficult situation at work?
Oh, definitely. I think everyone has experienced at least one stressful situation at work.
Same here. Sometimes the challenge is the workload. Sometimes it's communication with coworkers.
Yes, and sometimes it's simply misunderstanding each other.
Exactly. So let's start with one of the most common problems people face at work: too much work and not enough time.
Ah, yes, the famous problem of heavy workload.
Many employees feel overwhelmed because they have too many tasks and tight deadlines.
Deadlines can create a lot of pressure, especially when several projects are due at the same time.
Right. When that happens, people may feel stressed, tired, and even frustrated.
I've been in that situation before. You look at your task list and think, how am I going to finish all this today?
Exactly. So what can people do when they have too much work?
The first step is prioritizing tasks. Not every task has the same level of importance.
That's a great point. Some tasks are urgent and some can wait.
When you organize tasks by priority, the work becomes more manageable.
Another solution is communicating with your manager.
Yes, many employees try to handle everything alone, but sometimes it's better to ask for help or clarification.
For example, you can say, "I currently have several deadlines. Which task should I focus on first?"
That's a very professional way to ask for guidance.
Exactly. Managers usually appreciate honesty and clear communication.
Another helpful strategy is breaking large tasks into smaller steps.
That's very effective. When a project looks huge, it can feel intimidating.
But when you divide it into smaller tasks, it becomes easier to start.
And starting is often the hardest part.
Absolutely. Once you begin, momentum builds and the work starts moving forward.
Now, let's talk about another common workplace issue: communication problems.
Communication is extremely important in any workplace.
But sometimes messages are unclear or people misunderstand each other.
Yes, especially when teams work remotely or communicate mostly through email or chat.
Without tone of voice or body language, messages can easily be misinterpreted.
For example, a short message like, "Please fix this," might sound rude even if the sender didn't mean it that way.
That's a great example. Tone can change the meaning of a message.
So, what can people do to improve communication at work?
One simple solution is asking clarifying questions.
Exactly. Instead of guessing, it's better to ask politely.
For example, just to confirm, would you like this completed by tomorrow? That avoids confusion and ensures everyone understands the expectations.
Another solution is using clear and respectful language.
Yes, professionalism in communication is very important.
Even small phrases like please, thank you, and could you can make a big difference.
Definitely. They create a positive and respectful atmosphere.
Now let's move to another challenge many employees face: difficult coworkers.
That can be tricky. Every workplace has different personalities.
Some coworkers may be very supportive and friendly, while others might be competitive or negative.
Exactly. Sometimes people have different working styles.
For example, one person may like detailed planning, while another prefers working quickly and making decisions later.
These differences can lead to tension if people don't understand each other.
So, how should someone handle a difficult coworker?
The first step is staying calm and professional.
That's very important. Reacting emotionally usually makes the situation worse.
Instead, try to understand the other person's perspective.
Sometimes people act difficult because they're stressed or under pressure.
That's true. Work stress can affect behavior.
Another solution is focusing on the work itself rather than personal issues.
Yes, keeping the conversation professional helps avoid conflict.
For example, you might say, let's focus on the best solution for this project. That keeps the discussion productive.
And if the conflict continues, it may be helpful to involve a manager or supervisor.
Right. Managers are responsible for maintaining a healthy work environment.
Another common workplace problem is lack of motivation,
That's a big one. Many employees feel unmotivated at times,
especially when the work feels repetitive or boring.
or when employees feel that their efforts are not recognized.
Recognition is very important for motivation. People like to feel that their work matters.
So, what can employees do if they feel unmotivated?
One idea is setting personal goals.
That's a great strategy. Goals create a sense of progress.
For example, someone might aim to learn a new skill related to their job.
Learning new skills can make work more interesting.
Another idea is taking short breaks throughout the day.
Yes, breaks can refresh your mind and improve focus.
Even a 5-minute walk can make a difference.
It helps reduce stress and clear your thoughts.
Now let's discuss another important topic: workplace stress.
Stress is very common in modern workplaces.
Tight deadlines, high expectations, and long hours can all contribute to stress.
When stress becomes too intense, it can affect both physical and mental health.
That's why managing stress is so important.
One helpful technique is time management.
When people plan their work carefully, they feel more in control.
Exactly. Planning reduces last-minute pressure.
Another technique is maintaining healthy habits.
Like exercise, good sleep, and balanced meals.
These habits improve energy and concentration.
Talking with colleagues can also help reduce stress.
Yes, sharing experiences reminds people that they're not alone.
Many coworkers face similar challenges.
Now let's talk about mistakes at work.
Everyone makes mistakes sometimes. It's part of being human.
The important thing is how people respond to mistakes.
Some people try to hide mistakes, but that usually makes the situation worse.
A better approach is being honest and addressing the problem quickly.
For example, you might say, I noticed an error in the report. I'm correcting it now.
That shows responsibility and professionalism.
Managers usually respect employees who take responsibility for their work.
Exactly. Mistakes can also be learning opportunities.
Each mistake teaches something valuable.
Over time, those lessons help people improve their skills.
Let's talk about another interesting issue: working with remote teams.
Remote work has become very common in recent years.
Yes, many companies now have employees in different cities or even different countries.
While remote work offers flexibility, it also creates new challenges.
For example, time zone differences can make scheduling meetings difficult.
Communication can also be slower because people rely on messages instead of face-to-face conversations.
So, how can teams improve remote collaboration?
One solution is setting clear expectations and deadlines.
Another is using reliable communication tools.
Regular meetings can also help keep everyone connected.
Even short check-in meetings can improve teamwork.
Absolutely. Staying connected helps everyone stay aligned with the project goals.
Before we finish, let's summarize a few key ideas from today's conversation.
First, workplace problems are normal. Everyone experiences them at some point.
Second, clear communication is one of the best tools for solving problems.
Third, staying calm and professional helps resolve conflicts effectively.
And finally, learning from challenges helps people grow in their careers.
Exactly. Every problem can become an opportunity to improve skills and build experience.
Now we have a question for everyone listening.
Yes, we'd love to hear from you.
What is the most common problem you face at work, and how do you usually solve it?
Try describing your experience in English. It's a great way to practice.
Even a few simple sentences are enough.
Remember, practice is the key to improvement. Thank you so much for listening today.
We really appreciate your time and support.
Keep practicing your English every day.
And we'll see you again in the next episode.
Take care, everyone.
Goodbye and happy learning.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our podcast. We're really happy that you're here today. If you're trying to improve your English and learn how to speak naturally in real conversations, you're in the right place.
That's right. Hello, everyone. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Sophia. On this podcast, we help you practice English through real conversations about everyday topics.
We talk about things you experience in real life so you can learn useful vocabulary and feel more confident when speaking English.
Exactly. And today we have a very practical and relatable topic.
Yes, today we're going to talk about problems at work and how to deal with them.
This is something almost everyone experiences at some point in their career.
Whether you're working in an office, working remotely, running your own business, or even working part-time while studying, workplace problems can happen anywhere.
And sometimes they can be stressful.
Definitely. But the good news is that most problems at work have solutions.
Exactly. So today we'll talk about common workplace problems and practical ways to solve them.
We'll also share examples in real-life situations that might sound familiar to you.
Before we start, Daniel, how are you feeling today?
I'm doing great today. I had a busy morning, but it was productive.
That's good to hear. What made it productive?
I managed to finish 2 important tasks before lunch, and that always feels satisfying.
I completely agree. Finishing important work early in the day feels amazing.
What about you, Sophia? How was your morning?
My morning was a little slower, to be honest. I spent some time organizing my schedule and planning the week.
Planning is actually very important.
It really is. Good planning can prevent many workplace problems.
That's actually a perfect transition to our topic.
You're right. Let's start with one of the most common problems people face at work.
Too much work.
Yes, heavy workload is something many employees complain about.
Sometimes people feel overwhelmed because they have too many tasks and not enough time.
Exactly. They feel pressure to finish everything quickly, and that can create stress.
I remember a time when I had 5 different projects at the same time.
That sounds intense.
It was. I felt like I was constantly switching between tasks.
That's exhausting.
It really was. And when you try to do too many things at once, your productivity actually decreases.
That's true. Multitasking sounds efficient, but it often leads to mistakes.
So, what can someone do if they have too much work?
One solution is prioritization.
That's a great strategy.
Instead of trying to do everything immediately, you identify the most important tasks.
Focus on what truly matters first.
Exactly. Another helpful strategy is communication.
What do you mean by that?
Sometimes employees are afraid to tell their manager that their workload is too heavy.
That's very common.
But if your boss doesn't know you're struggling, they can't help you.
So it's better to be honest and say something like, I'm currently working on several tasks. Which one should be my top priority?
That shows responsibility and professionalism.
And it helps managers understand your situation.
Another common workplace problem is poor communication.
Oh, yes, that causes many misunderstandings.
Sometimes instructions are unclear.
Or people assume others understand what they mean.
I once worked on a project where the team misunderstood the client's request.
What happened?
We spent 2 weeks preparing the wrong type of report.
That must have been frustrating.
It was, but it happened because nobody asked enough questions.
That's an important lesson.
If something isn't clear, always ask for clarification.
It's much better to ask questions early than fix mistakes later.
Another helpful practice is summarizing instructions.
That's a great technique.
For example, you could say, just to confirm, you'd like this report by Friday afternoon, correct?
That ensures everyone understands the expectations.
Exactly. Let's move on to another workplace problem: difficult coworkers.
Oh, yes, that can make work very stressful.
Sometimes coworkers have very different personalities.
Or different working styles.
Some people prefer quiet environments.
Others enjoy talking and socializing.
Conflicts can happen when these styles clash.
I once had a colleague who liked to interrupt people while they were working.
That can be very distracting.
It was. At first, I felt annoyed, but I didn't say anything.
What changed?
Eventually, I politely explained that I concentrate better without interruptions.
How did they react?
Surprisingly well. They didn't realize they were causing a problem.
That's a great example of respectful communication. Many conflicts can be solved simply by talking calmly.
Another important skill is emotional control.
Yes, if you respond with anger, the situation often becomes worse.
Staying calm helps maintain professionalism.
Now let's talk about another common issue: lack of motivation.
That happens to many people during their careers.
Sometimes work becomes repetitive.
Or employees feel their efforts aren't appreciated.
Recognition is very important.
When people feel valued, they tend to work harder and feel happier.
Exactly, but if recognition is missing, motivation can decrease.
So, what can someone do if they feel unmotivated at work?
One solution is setting personal goals.
That's interesting.
Even if your job tasks are routine, you can challenge yourself.
For example,
Hi everyone, welcome back to our podcast. We're really happy that you're here today. If you're trying to improve your English and learn how to speak naturally in real conversations, you're in the right place.
That's right. Hello, everyone. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Sophia. On this podcast, we help you practice English through real conversations about everyday topics.
we talk about things you experience in real life so you can learn useful vocabulary and feel more confident when speaking English.
Exactly. And today we have a very practical and relatable topic.
Yes, today we're going to talk about problems at work and how to deal with them.
This is something almost everyone experiences at some point in their career.
Whether you're working in an office, working remotely, running your own business, or even working part-time while studying, workplace problems can happen anywhere.
And sometimes they can be stressful.
Definitely. But the good news is that most problems at work have solutions.
Exactly. So today we'll talk about common workplace problems and practical ways to solve them.
We'll also share examples and real-life situations that might sound familiar to you.
Before we start, Daniel, how are you feeling today?
I'm doing great today. I had a busy morning, but it was productive.
That's good to hear. What made it productive?
I managed to finish 2 important tasks before lunch, and that always feels satisfying.
I completely agree. Finishing important work early in the day feels amazing.
What about you, Sophia? How was your morning?
My morning was a little slower, to be honest. I spent some time organizing my schedule and planning the week.
Planning is actually very important.
It really is. Good planning can prevent many workplace problems.
That's actually a perfect transition to our topic.
You're right. Let's start with one of the most common problems people face at work.
Too much work.
Yes, heavy workload is something many employees complain about.
Sometimes people feel overwhelmed because they have too many tasks and not enough time.
Exactly. They feel pressure to finish everything quickly, and that can create stress.
I remember a time when I had 5 different projects at the same time.
That sounds intense.
It was. I felt like I was constantly switching between tasks.
That's exhausting.
It really was. And when you try to do too many things at once, your productivity actually decreases.
That's true. Multitasking sounds efficient, but it often leads to mistakes.
So, what can someone do if they have too much work?
One solution is prioritization.
That's a great strategy.
Instead of trying to do everything immediately, you identify the most important tasks.
Focus on what truly matters first.
Exactly. Another helpful strategy is communication.
What do you mean by that?
Sometimes employees are afraid to tell their manager that their workload is too heavy.
That's very common.
But if your boss doesn't know you're struggling, they can't help you.
So it's better to be honest and say something like, I'm currently working on several tasks. Which one should be my top priority?
That shows responsibility and professionalism.
And it helps managers understand your situation.
Another common workplace problem is poor communication.
Oh, yes, that causes many misunderstandings.
Sometimes instructions are unclear.
Or people assume others understand what they mean.
I once worked on a project where the team misunderstood the client's request.
What happened?
We spent 2 weeks preparing the wrong type of report.
That must have been frustrating.
It was, but it happened because nobody asked enough questions.
That's an important lesson.
If something isn't clear, always ask for clarification.
It's much better to ask questions early than fix mistakes later.
Another helpful practice is summarizing instructions.
That's a great technique.
For example, you could say, just to confirm, you'd like this report by Friday afternoon, correct?
That ensures everyone understands the expectations.
Exactly. Let's move on to another workplace problem: difficult coworkers.
Oh yes, that can make work very stressful.
Sometimes coworkers have very different personalities.
Or different working styles.
Some people prefer quiet environments.
Others enjoy talking and socializing.
Conflicts can happen when these styles clash.
I once had a colleague who liked to interrupt people while they were working.
That can be very
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our podcast. If you're here to improve your English and learn how to communicate confidently at work, you're in the right place. I'm Michael.
And I'm Emma. We're really happy you're here with us today. In this podcast, we focus on real conversations that help you use English naturally in your daily life and especially in professional environments.
Exactly. Today, we're continuing with a topic that many people find very useful: problems at work and how to solve them.
Yes, in the previous episode, we talked about stress, communication issues, and teamwork challenges.
But today, we're going to explore different workplace problems and practical solutions for them.
That's right, because no matter where you work, problems will appear sooner or later.
What matters most is how you deal with those problems.
Exactly. When you handle workplace issues calmly and professionally, you build a good reputation.
So, Emma, let's start with a problem many people experience: feeling overwhelmed by too much work.
Oh, yes, that's extremely common. Many employees feel like their workload is too heavy.
A workload is simply the amount of work someone has to complete.
When the workload becomes too large, employees may feel stressed, tired, and even frustrated.
Especially if deadlines are close.
Yes, imagine you have 3 big projects due in the same week.
That can definitely create pressure.
So, what can someone do in that situation?
One solution is time management.
That's a very important skill.
Time management means organizing your tasks and using your time effectively.
For example, you can create a daily schedule.
Or write a list of tasks you need to complete.
A simple to-do list can make a big difference.
Another helpful technique is something called the 2-minute rule.
That's interesting. What is that?
If a task takes less than 2 minutes, you do it immediately instead of delaying it.
That prevents small tasks from piling up.
Exactly.
Another solution when you feel overwhelmed is talking to your manager.
Yes, many employees stay silent even when they're struggling.
but managers can't help if they don't know there's a problem.
A professional way to say it could be, I'd like to discuss my workload.
Or, I'm currently managing several tasks. Could we review the priorities?
That's a calm and professional approach.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about another workplace problem: lack of clear instructions.
That happens more often than people think. Sometimes managers give vague instructions.
Vague means not clear or not detailed.
For example, a manager might say, prepare a report,
But they don't explain what information should be included,
or how long the report should be.
or when exactly it's needed.
Without clear instructions, employees may feel confused.
And they may waste time doing the wrong thing.
So, what's the solution?
The best solution is asking questions early.
Yes, clarifying expectations can save a lot of time.
A useful phrase could be, just to confirm, would you like the report to include last month's data?
Or, could you clarify the format you prefer?
These questions show that you're responsible and careful.
Exactly.
Now, let's discuss another workplace issue: lack of recognition.
That means employees feel their work is not appreciated.
Yes, many people work very hard but rarely receive feedback.
And when employees feel unappreciated, their motivation can decrease.
Everyone likes to know that their work matters.
So how can this problem be solved?
Managers should give regular feedback.
Even simple words like great job or thank you for your effort can make a big difference.
For employees, it's also helpful to share their achievements.
That's true.
Some people are shy about talking about their accomplishments.
But sharing progress helps others understand your contribution.
For example, during a meeting, you could say, I completed the client analysis and identified 3 key opportunities.
That's professional and informative.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about another challenge: working with difficult clients.
Oh, yes, anyone in customer service has probably experienced this.
Some clients may be impatient,
Some may complain frequently.
and sometimes clients can be rude.
That can be very stressful.
So, how should someone handle difficult clients?
The most important thing is staying calm and professional.
Never respond with anger.
Instead, listen carefully to the problem.
Listening helps clients feel respected.
Useful phrases might be, I understand your concern.
Or, let me see how I can help solve this issue.
These phrases show empathy.
Empathy means understanding someone else's feelings.
Exactly. Now, let's move to another workplace problem: lack of career growth.
Many employees worry about this.
Especially if they've been in the same position for a long time.
They may start to feel stuck.
When people feel stuck, they often lose motivation.
So, what can someone do if they want to grow in their career?
One solution is developing new skills.
Learning new skills can open new opportunities.
For example, improving technical skills, leadership skills, or communication skills.
Another option is discussing career goals with a manager.
A good phrase could be, I'd like to talk about my professional development.
Or, I'm interested in taking on more responsibilities.
That shows ambition.
And many companies value employees who want to grow.
Absolutely.
Now, let's discuss lack of teamwork.
Teamwork is essential in most organizations.
But sometimes teams don't cooperate effectively.
For example, some team members may not communicate.
Or they may not complete their assigned tasks.
That can slow down the entire project.
So what's the solution?
The solution is clear roles and responsibilities.
Everyone should know exactly what their job is.
Regular team meetings can also help.
Meetings allow people to share updates and solve problems together.
Communication again plays a key role.
Absolutely. Let's imagine a short conversation between colleagues about teamwork.
Great idea. I'll go ahead.
Go ahead.
Hi, Emma. Do you have a minute?
Sure, what's up?
I'm reviewing the project timeline, and it looks like we're falling behind schedule.
I noticed that too. Which part of the project is delayed?
The design stage is taking longer than expected.
I see. Maybe we can divide the tasks differently.
That's a good idea. If I handle the client communication, could you focus on the design revisions?
Yes, that would help a lot.
Great. Let's also update the rest of the team during tomorrow's meeting.
Perfect. That way everyone stays informed.
Thanks for bringing this up.
No problem.
End of role play.
That conversation shows how teamwork problems can be solved through communication.
Exactly.
Now, let's discuss another workplace challenge, procrastination.
Procrastination means delaying tasks that should be done earlier,
Many people struggle with this.
especially when tasks feel difficult or boring.
One way to overcome procrastination is starting with small steps.
Yes, once you begin, it's often easier to continue.
Another helpful technique is setting time limits.
For example, working on a task for 25 minutes without interruptions.
That's called the Pomodoro technique.
Exactly.
It helps people stay focused and productive.
Now, let's talk about something related, office distractions.
Distractions can seriously affect productivity.
Examples include constant notifications, noise, or interruptions.
One solution is creating a focused work environment,
That might mean turning off unnecessary notifications.
or using headphones to reduce noise.
Another strategy is scheduling specific times to check emails.
That prevents constant interruptions.
Exactly.
Before we finish today's episode, let's summarize some key ideas.
Today, we talked about several workplace problems.
Feeling overwhelmed by too much work,
Lack of clear instructions,
lack of recognition,
difficult clients,
limited career growth,
teamwork issues,
procrastination,
and distractions at work.
but we also discussed many solutions.
Time management,
Clear communication,
asking questions,
developing new skills,
working collaboratively.
and staying organized.
The key message is simple.
Workplace problems are normal.
What matters is how you respond to them.
Stay professional, communicate clearly, and focus on solutions.
Exactly.
Well, everyone, thank you so much for listening today.
We hope this conversation helped you learn useful English and practical workplace strategies.
Remember, improving your English takes time and practice.
Keep listening, keep practicing, and keep learning.
And we'll see you in the next episode.
Take care, everyone.
Goodbye.
Hi everyone, welcome back to our podcast. If you're here to improve your English and learn how to communicate more naturally in real-life situations, you're in the right place. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Lisa. We're really happy you're here with us today. In this podcast, we focus on helping you speak clear, practical English that you can use in everyday conversations, especially at work.
Exactly. Many of our listeners are learning English for their careers, so today we have a topic that is extremely useful.
Yes, today we're going to talk about problems at work and how to solve them.
This is a very important topic because no workplace is perfect.
That's true. Even in the best companies, employees sometimes face challenges, conflicts, stress, or communication problems.
The key is not avoiding problems completely because that's impossible.
The real skill is knowing how to handle problems professionally and calmly.
Exactly. Today we're going to talk about common workplace problems, how people usually react to them, and most importantly, the solutions.
We'll also share useful English phrases you can use when discussing problems with colleagues, managers, or clients.
Perfect. So Lisa, let's start with the first and probably the most common problem at work.
Let me guess. Stress?
Yes, exactly. Workplace stress.
Stress is something almost everyone experiences at some point in their career.
Especially when deadlines are tight and the workload is heavy.
Right. A deadline is the time by which something must be finished.
For example, a manager might say, "This report must be completed by Friday."
And if you have several deadlines at the same time, it can become overwhelming.
Absolutely. Many employees feel stressed when they have too many tasks and not enough time.
So, Daniel, what do you think is the best way to handle work stress?
One effective solution is prioritizing tasks.
That's a great word, prioritize.
It means deciding which tasks are the most important and should be done first.
Instead of trying to do everything at once, focus on the most urgent tasks.
Another useful solution is breaking large tasks into smaller steps.
Yes, big projects can feel intimidating.
But when you divide them into smaller tasks, they become more manageable.
For example, if you need to prepare a presentation, you can break it down like this. Research the topic, create the slides, practice the presentation, and review everything.
Exactly, step by step.
Another way to reduce stress is simply asking for help.
That's true. Many employees feel afraid to ask for help because they don't want to appear weak.
But asking for help actually shows responsibility.
A useful phrase you can use is, "Could you help me with this task?"
Or, I'm currently working on several projects. Could we discuss the priorities?
That's a very professional way to communicate.
Now let's move on to another common workplace problem, poor communication.
Communication problems happen in almost every organization.
Sometimes instructions are unclear,
Or people misunderstand each other.
or important information is not shared with the team.
That can lead to mistakes, delays, and frustration.
Exactly. Imagine your manager tells you to prepare a report, but doesn't explain what type of report they want.
You might spend hours working on it, only to find out it's not what they expected.
That's very frustrating.
So, what's the solution?
The solution is clear communication and asking questions.
Never be afraid to ask for clarification.
For example, you could say, just to clarify, would you like the report to include sales data from this month?
Or, could you please explain the requirements in more detail?
Those phrases help prevent misunderstandings.
Another communication issue is when colleagues don't respond to emails.
Oh yes, that's a very common problem.
You send an email asking for important information and you wait for days with no reply.
That can delay your entire project.
In that situation, a polite follow-up message is helpful.
For example, you could write, "Hi John, I just wanted to follow up on my previous email regarding the sales data."
Or, could you please send the information when you have a moment?
Notice how these phrases are polite and professional.
Yes, it's important not to sound angry or impatient.
Exactly. Professional communication helps maintain good relationships at work.
Speaking of relationships, let's talk about another workplace challenge, conflicts with colleagues.
This is something many people experience.
When people work together, they don't always agree.
That's natural because everyone has different opinions, personalities, and working styles.
For example, one person might prefer working quickly, while another prefers working carefully and slowly.
These differences can sometimes lead to tension.
So how should we handle conflicts at work?
The first step is staying calm and professional.
Reacting emotionally can make the situation worse.
Instead, try to understand the other person's perspective.
A useful phrase is, "I understand your point, but I'd like to explain my perspective."
That shows respect for the other person's opinion.
Another helpful phrase is, "Let's find a solution that works for both of us."
That's a very collaborative approach.
Yes, the goal is not to win the argument.
The goal is to solve the problem.
Exactly. Now let's talk about another common issue, lack of motivation at work.
That's a very interesting topic,
Sometimes employees start feeling bored or unmotivated.
especially if they do the same tasks every day.
Routine can make work feel repetitive.
When work becomes repetitive, motivation can decrease.
So what can employees do to stay motivated?
One solution is setting personal goals,
For example, learning a new skill.
or improving your performance.
Another solution is asking for new challenges.
You could say to your manager, "I'd like to take on more responsibilities."
Or, "I'm interested in learning new aspects of the business."
That shows initiative.
Managers usually appreciate employees who want to grow.
Another way to stay motivated is continuing to learn.
Taking online courses, attending workshops, or reading professional books can help. Learning new skills can make work more interesting.
Now let's talk about another challenge many people face, work-life balance.
Yes, this is a big issue in modern workplaces.
Work-life balance means having enough time for both your career and your personal life.
When people work too much, they may feel exhausted.
This is sometimes called burnout.
Burnout happens when someone feels mentally and physically drained because of excessive work.
It's a serious problem.
So, how can people improve their work-life balance?
One solution is setting clear boundaries,
For example, not answering work emails late at night.
or managing time effectively during the workday.
If you use your time well, you may not need to work overtime.
Taking breaks is also important.
Short breaks can improve focus and energy.
Now let's talk about another challenge, difficult managers.
That's a sensitive topic.
Yes, but it's something many employees experience.
Some managers may be too strict,
Or they may give unclear instructions.
or they may expect employees to work very long hours.
So, what can employees do in this situation?
First, try to communicate openly. For example, you could say, "I'd like to discuss my workload."
Or, could we review the priorities for this week?
These phrases help start a constructive conversation.
If the problem continues, it might be helpful to speak with human resources.
HR departments often help resolve workplace conflicts.
Now let's talk about teamwork.
Teamwork is essential in most workplaces.
But sometimes teamwork doesn't go smoothly.
For example, some team members may not contribute equally.
This can create frustration for others.
Yes, especially when deadlines are approaching.
In these situations, communication is again the key.
A helpful phrase might be, "Let's review everyone's responsibilities."
Or, how can we divide the tasks more effectively?
That keeps the conversation focused on the work rather than blaming individuals.
Exactly. Now let's imagine a real workplace conversation.
Good idea. Let's do a short role play.
I'll be the employee and you can be the manager.
Sounds good.
Hi, Daniel. Do you have a moment to talk?
Of course. What's on your mind?
I've been working on several projects recently, and I'm finding it difficult to manage all the deadlines.
I see. Which projects are taking most of your time?
The marketing report and the client presentation are both due this week.
Thanks for letting me know. Let's review the priorities and see how we can adjust the schedule.
That would be very helpful.
Maybe we can extend the deadline for the report.
That would reduce a lot of pressure.
And perhaps another team member can assist with the presentation.
I appreciate your support.
No problem. It's important that the team works efficiently without feeling overwhelmed.
Thank you for understanding.
End of role play.
That conversation shows how problems can be solved through communication.
Exactly. Instead of staying silent and feeling stressed, it's better to discuss the issue.
Most managers appreciate honest communication.
And often there are solutions available.
Before we finish today's episode, let's quickly summarize.
Today, we talked about several common workplace problems.
Stress caused by heavy workloads,
Poor communication,
conflicts with colleagues,
lack of motivation,
work-life balance challenges.
and difficulties with management or teamwork.
But the most important lesson is that every problem has a solution.
And the best solutions usually involve communication, organization, and teamwork.
Remember, problems at work are normal.
What matters is how we respond to them.
Stay calm, stay professional, and look for constructive solutions.
Well, everyone, thank you so much for listening today.
We hope this conversation helped you learn useful English for workplace situations.
Try practicing these phrases in your own conversations.
And remember, improving your English is a journey.
The more you listen and practice, the more confident you'll become.
Thanks again for joining us.
We'll see you in the next episode.
Take care, everyone.
Goodbye.